It's time to make another video. This time it's gonna be another DIY project. Let's do this. Alright guys, today I'm gonna show you how to make a $100 DIY soft video light. What's a soft light? Soft light is just a light that is heavily diffused in order to minimize shadows. And so they're great for video, especially when you're in a situation like this where you're doing kind of an interview thing and you don't want harsh light in your face. Soft light usually makes people look their best. And so that's why soft lights are all the rage these days. At NAB this year, almost every single major manufacturer had a 1x1 LED soft light panel. They are great because they are replacing what used to be a big giant softbox into a thin panel like this. Of course, the problem is that they are still kind of expensive. Light panels, which is usually what we've used in the past, has a whole line of these lights. 1x1 panel starts about $1,600. Of course, there are other manufacturers that are much more cost effective, like ICANN, but their 1x1 panel is still somewhere around $600. So if you're like me and you don't have the money to spend about $1,200 to $1,500 on a pair of lights for your video work, then you can join me in doing this DIY project. Here is what a 1x1 panel looks like. A 1x1 refers to the 1 foot by 1 foot panel. You are going to need the following list of products. Here are the links to Amazon. And I'm also offering a set of links to eBay. Just in case some of the things go out of stock or they're not available in your country or sort of stuff like that. 2 places where you can buy all the components that it's gonna take to make this one light. All right, here is the back of the light. You probably can do a better job than me making this look neat. I just kind of threw all this stuff in there, double-sided tape to the back. It's really easy. If you can still remove them if you want to make changes or whatever. All right, so you guys have bought all the parts and now you have them in your possession. We're gonna go through it. First things first, this light, the 1x1 panel that you bought, came wired in a way that it needs 60 to 80 volts. We are going to have to change that and we're going to have to rewire that. Take a look at this diagram. It shows you how it is wired. It has 2 strips of LEDs that are connected in series. Well, you're going to have to take the light apart, take out the strips of LEDs and reconnect them. Desolder the 2 strips from the center and then resolder them in a way so that they're both going to be connected in parallel. So your positive cable, it's gonna go to the positive of both of the LED strips. And the negative is gonna go to the negative side of both strips. Once you have done that, then you can bring out the cables out the back, like here. This next part, you can do it in many different ways. I just went the easy way and I double-side tape all these components to the back of the light. That's probably not the best, but it's really the easiest way. The double-sided tape that I use is really, really strong, so it's actually quite a hard work to actually get this stuff off. So for me, it kind of works, but I think in a later video, I do want to make changes to this thing, including putting a back here so it looks like more professional. So the second thing you have to do now is solder the battery clips together. And you have to solder them across, so all of the leads of these batteries, of these cells, are going to be in parallel. So they're going to be connected. This cable is going to be connected to all 3 of those. And then these 3 are going to be connected together, and then they're going to be connected to this ones over here. And the same thing here. These 3 are going to be connected together, and then those are going to be connected to these 3, which are connected together. And the same thing on the bottom. The way I have it here, this is the negative and this is the positive. The wiring diagram is a little bit different, but I draw it in a way that it would be visually easier to understand. Next thing is you're going to have to install the switch in the negative side. And it's very important for you to put it in the negative side, because if you don't, if you put it on the positive side, then the cell log 8 will remain on once you turn your light off, which will keep depleting your cells and then a whole bunch of problems. So you want to put it on the negative side, just like shown in the diagram. Okay, once you install the switch, then both the positive and the negative are going to go into the input of your DC to DC. And then the output is going to go first to the little LED meter, and then it's going to go into the light. Those connections are going to be in parallel, just like shown in the wiring diagram. Next, you're going to have to use that little connector for the cell log 8 and connect it there, and then follow the wiring diagram so you can put all the balance lead to each individual bank of cells. And then finally, what you're going to have to do is going to install the pot on the trim pot of the DC to DC. You could remove the trim pot, but it's just easier to leave it there. All you have to do is you set it to the highest voltage. So spinning it one way lowers the output voltage, and spinning it the opposite way makes the voltage go high. So that's the way you're gonna have to do it. Do it so that the voltage out here is somewhere like around 40 volts. What that's gonna allow you to do is then you're gonna be able to adjust the brightness with this pot, even though this one's there. So essentially, it's bypassing the trim pot that is included in the DC to DC. And then of course you're gonna have to install the 100K resistor between one of the legs of the pod and then the DC to DC. Here's some extra hardware you are going to need. Just click on its shape to go where you can buy it. So now you have a light on a ball head that you can install into pretty much any tripod with a 3/8/16 screw. And then you can adjust it however you want. And that's pretty much it. Now you have a working light. There's just a couple of things that I haven't talked about. The battery cells, you can get those off of old dead laptop batteries. You can see some of my older videos where I show you how to extract so you can repurpose some of these cells. If you don't want to do that, then of course I'm also going to include a link so that you can buy brand new cells. You're going to need 9 cells to run this. The other thing is the cell log 8. This guy will tell you what the state of charge is for the batteries. Depending on the age of these batteries, some of them are weaker than others. Like here, cell number 1, which is this group here, it's a little bit weaker because the voltage goes down when you put the brightness up. When you hear that guy beeping, then you have to come and check and maybe turn the light off and change the batteries. Because if you don't, then you're gonna kill these batteries. This guy is here to protect these cells. And it's gonna do that by beeping. And so whenever you hear beeping, that means there's something wrong with the cells and you have to come and change them, charge them, or turn the light off. I don't know, do whatever you want. To charge them, I'm also going to include a link to some cheap $5 eBay. But that's pretty much it. Now you have a working light that you only paid about $100, and it does the same thing, or roughly the same thing, as one you can buy for $400 to $1,200. Alright guys, so that's another DIY project. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope you guys make your own light. There's so much more that I wanted to do with this video, but I just ran out of time. Unfortunately, I have to finish it, and I have to upload it, and I have to move on to other projects. But I'm definitely gonna do a second project where we make this look more professional by adding a back, you know, maybe like a laser cut, you know, acrylic back, and you know, some stuff like that. I have a couple of ideas to make this light even better than it is. But this light right here works, and it will actually light up whatever project you got. Alright, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Whoa! I wonder if it's broken.
Yeah, it's broken.
This camera fell over.
Dear Casey, please stop breaking camera. I'm not a hater. I'm actually a big fan. Last time I was in New York, I shook your hand, and I even gave you one of my DSLR rigs. I know you don't need a rig, but what you do need is something that helps you not drop your camera. I've actually made something just for you. What is this? Since I started using this, my camera has fallen 0 times. Just like your regular Gorilla Pod, except when your Gorilla Pod goes all loose and limb, this guy, you'll be able to tighten these screws. So this is just like a high-end custom-made Gorilla Pod. I made one for you. Hopefully it will be the end of...